What's going on, guys? It's your boy AA Round 220, bringing you guys week 1 of our USL, well, of the USL. I can't talk today. But if you guys haven't already, check out the team builder that went up yesterday. And yeah, let's get right into the match. We fight Retro Surge. He brought Delmise, Gastrodon, which I was really surprised by. I thought he would bring Volcarona over Gastrodon. But I figured that, wasn't the weirdest thing. I mean, Gastrodon still does decent. Just I figured that he would have brought Volcarona over it because Volcarona terrorizes my team, especially the 6 I brought. He's also got Gardevoir, Lucario, Zygarde, and Exploud. Exploud, I wasn't thinking he was gonna bring it, but then after realizing my only switch is Porygon 2, I was like, yeah, he's gonna bring it. But let's get right into the match. So he leads off with Exploud, and I lead off with Donphan. And I feel like that he tried to predict the switch in Magearna to resist a Boom Burst. Definitely made sense, because he also kind of explained that to me. He said that that's what he was thinking. I was going to go into Magearna. So he goes for Flamethrower, and I go to Suicune, because I figured that I thought I could take a hit at least okay, and then I could always Surf and do some decent damage, and then bring in Hitmonlee to take it out. Because I didn't want to go into Porygon 2 too early in the match, in case if you tried to predict that. So I figured Suicune, I mean, it's my backup. I didn't need Suicune for a single mon on his team, because I only prepped this thing for Volcarona and Aerodactyl, and he didn't bring either of them. Aerodactyl didn't really surprise me. It was more so just I was already able to handle Aerodactyl, but I prepped it mainly for Volcarona. So I figured, I'd just stay in. I brought out the Gastrodon while I got the boost, and then I could get a free switch into something else that would take on whatever came in better. So I was like, okay, Delmise came in. So while I can take on Delmise with Rindo Berry, I'm not doing anything really to it. So I'm going to go to Porygon 2, because Porygon 2 can take a hit fairly well. I can also go for Toxic or Ice Beam. So he goes for Shadow Claw. And then goes for Power Whip, which is about a meaty 30%. So, meaty 30%. I'm also looking at the chat. You guys can't see the chat. But to John, because I know you're going to watch this, I'm analytic, you dumbass. It literally did not say that I traced the Delmise. I'm analytic. Analytic because I'm slower than pretty much anything I've seen besides the Delmise. So I can go for an Ice Beam. It's going to do more damage. And then, so you do pretty much Life Orb equivalent boosted damage. So I figured, Analytic was a smart idea because he has a relatively fast team, especially Zygarde, which is mainly what I had Porygon 2 for. Also the Exploud. I figured, Exploud, I might Speed Tie or Eat Out Speed, and either way, I'm going to do more damage to it. So yeah. But I go for Toxic here. I figured Delmise can get crippled by that and Ice Beam, and he decides to still stay in, and I figured I had to recover off here so I wouldn't get crit next turn in case if he was Assault Vest. So I go for Ice Beam now. And his Lucario takes about 23%. So I figured I can go into Donphan. And he actually goes for Swords Dance here. And I figured that, the Swords Dance is going to be perfect because I can live any hit. It's definitely going to force him out. I figured there's no way he would stay in here. So I saw that he was definitely going to switch out. But I went for Earthquake anyway because I figured, in case he didn't stay in case he had like Ice Punch or something, I would take the hit fairly well. Break a Sash if he had one. Or no, the Sash was already broken with Ice Beam. But I figured I'd definitely kill. And if you brought in Delmise, it's going to take decent damage between Toxic and also the Earthquake. So I can always bring in Porygon 2 again, take a hit. And nothing else really wanted to take an Earthquake. Gastrodon could take it fairly well, but again, I could always bring in like Magearna, who could Flare Cannon. Or, well, I couldn't really switch it Magearna because of Earth Power. Wait, I had Shuck Up, but I still wanted to save that. The point is, I had options I could have brought in. I could also brought in Porygon 2 for that too and went for Toxic. I really Porygon 2 switches in like everything on his team. It's fucking great, but I brought in Porygon 2. Figured he had nothing he could really do to me besides Power Whip. And as we see here, I go for Recover. Figured next turn, I don't know why I went for Ice Beam. I figured that I just wanted to kill it off in case he switched or do damage to whatever he brought in. But I could have recovered here so easily. So I go for Toxic though, and I knew he'd go for Toxic right back. I figured it was pretty safe to assume that. So I decide that he's definitely gonna switch out because he only wanted to get the Toxic off, so he can whittle me down. So I go in. So then I go into my Suicune after recovering off because I want to be at as high HP as possible. Figured he was probably gonna pick the Magearna switch again, even though I take a Boom Burst fairly well. So I go into Suicune. I figured even if Suicune dies, it's a free switch into Hitmonlee, and I can just go for Fake Out Close Combat and guarantee kill no matter what variant he is. Though he was probably, I'm pretty sure he was Specs. I think I revealed that later on, but he goes into Lucarios. I go for Rest because I figured that he'd probably try and take advantage of the Toxic whittling me down, and also the fact that he could set up pretty freely. So I'm asleep now. I go into Donphan. He goes for another Swords Dance here. Again, like if he went for close combat, he probably would have killed me off by now because it did about 60% if he was adamant life orb, which I believe was his spread. But I decided to go for my rocks because Delmice is gone. He can't clear hazards. He has no way to. And he goes for boom burst on the turn after, when I decided I'm just gonna go for earthquake and do a lot of damage to this thing, which really sucks because it makes this match so much harder for me. I don't know why I decided to stay in. I could have very freely switched into Suicune, sacked it off, killed off X-Splat with Hitmonlee. That would have been a done game. But I decide I go for Earthquake. It does about half. And I preserve Donphan because I figured, you know, Rocky Helmet damage could always be nice later on. But I go into Suicune. Figured I'm just going to sack the signal off, go into Hitmonlee and kill it off. But I go for Fake Out here. Figured he has no Fake Out switches anyway. I can get my normal gem off, get my double speed, and I pretty much handled the rest of his team besides E-Speed on Lucario and Zygarde. But you go for knockoff here, find out he was Specs. Figured I might as well in case he switches into something else. But I realized here that I should have brought Poison Jab over Rock Slide, because I would have still hit Volcarona at least for okay damage. Between Fake Out and knockoff, I could have hit it for decent damage. But Gardevoir though, knockoff only did about 76%, and that's assuming he was uninvested in HP or defense. He probably had some sort of bulk, chances are though. Probably only wanted to outspeed this, if that, at least my guess, because he's gonna take a hit from Charizard fairly well, besides Flare Blitz. But if he's not gonna stand on a Flare Blitz with his team. He's got Zygarde and Gashon to take Flare Blitz, but I figured that even if he doesn't have any bulk, he's still gonna take the hit, and he's gonna kill me off. So I can't sack off Hitmonlee, it's too vital to this match. So I just sack off Donphan, it's at 1% anyway. And I bring in Magearna, because I figured, you know, I can't one-shot, but I can definitely kill this thing off. So I go for a Shift Gear, figured I can get a mini sweep off, go for Flash Cannon, does about 73%, so it's like the lowest roll possible, because the highest roll would have been 85%. I think the lowest roll was like 71% exactly, but it was somewhere around like low 70s. So it's definitely a pretty low roll, but I'm not sure if it was the lowest roll. But either way, I wasn't killing off. So I figured I'd go for Flash Cannon here. I do some decent damage, and I go for Flare Cannon here, and I miss, which really sucks because Magearna probably could have like at least done a mini sweep against his team, because I would have been able to guarantee kill off the Gastrodon, as you can see here. And then Zygarde wasn't going to take a hit at neutral, and Lucario probably wasn't going to take a hit at neutral, but even if it would have, then, well, no, it was at 76%, so I would have killed off at least one of the two before letting this thing go down, and then I could have had Hitmonlee kill off the other. But I say and go for Ice Beam because I know I can take any hit from Zygarde, even if it's a +3, I take an outrage. It does about like 80%. So I kill off. I decide I'm gonna sack off Lucario. I'm gonna sack off Porygon 2 here and go for Tri Attack. And he decides to just go for setup, which really sucks because his Lucario gets paralyzed. And I decide I can go for another Tri Attack. It really doesn't matter though, because he goes for E-Speed here anyway. But I could have just Fake Out, and then I would have been faster. He couldn't have killed my Zard with E-Speed. So even if I sacked off Hitmonlee, I could have either went for 2 Fake Outs and between Life Orb damage, he would have killed himself off with the Zard. Well, because of the Zard, it would have killed him off because of Life Orb and 2 Fake Outs. Or B, which I could have also done. I could have went for Fake Out, sacked off Hitmonlee. Zard could have still taken an E-Speed, which is the only way that he could have possibly outsped me. So I figured, you know, I pretty much won the game anyway. All it did was differential, which I guess kind of sucks because if it comes down to it and Retro loses out of playoffs because of that, then that's unfortunate. But either way, though, I think I definitely didn't win because of hacks. I just got a better differential. And even then, there's only 1-0 versus a 2-0. So I probably could have still made it a 2-0. It just would have been very, very difficult. I would need to preserve a lot of mons. But point is, though, that is our first game. We won our first game. This is honestly the match I was the most scared of in my entire division. There's still going to be some hard matches, don't get me wrong. But it was the one I was by far the most scared of because of matchup. And also the fact that Z Volcarona with Grass DMZ scares the shit out of me. I ran that in the NPL a couple weeks. And obviously, you know if you watched week 6 how much work that would have put in if I didn't fuck up and realize that I wasn't allowed to use it week 6 because of me changing my Z Crystal Mon midweek. But yeah, so obviously though, you guys know how good Grass DMZ Volcarona is if you've been on my channel. So that's why I was so terrified of it, especially with my team. I think my only thing that was going to take it was the Rindo Suicune. It's the only thing. My entire team, they're going to take it on Volcarona. So I was terrified of that thing. If he brought it, he probably would have won. But I think he mentioned that I had a lot of rockers, which is a very, very true. I had a decent amount of rockers. That's why I didn't want to bring it, because if Delmai's dipped, then Volcarona would be very, very pressured out. And I know that. As I said, I've run Volcarona, so I know the struggle of bringing it in on rocks. But I still think he played very well. Make sure to check him out, guys. He's a very good friend of mine, very phenomenal battler. He's only gonna be getting better. So, hopefully you can see me and in playoffs, and maybe him as well. But that's gonna be it for this week, guys. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below. Check out our week 2 match. It's gonna go up next Saturday, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, motherfuckers.